Hello basketball gamers, and welcome to another video retrospective for Wayback Wednesday. I'm Andrew, and if you've read some of my columns over on the NLSC, or listened to our podcast, you might know that my all-time favourite basketball player is Michael Jordan. Since it's February 17th, 2016, MJ's 53rd birthday, happy birthday MJ, I thought it would only be appropriate to look back at a video game from the 90s that his airness actually appeared in. Although he was absent from games released following his comeback in 1995, MJ did appear fairly regularly in earlier basketball titles, including the NBA Playoff Series, which was the forerunner to NBA Live. EA also developed a side-scrolling platform game for the Super Nintendo titled Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City, and the game we're looking at today, Michael Jordan in Flight. Released exclusively on PC in 1992, Michael Jordan in Flight features 3-on-3 half-court gameplay, and, as the name would imply, it prominently features MJ himself. In fact, his airness is the only real player in the game, while all of his potential teammates and opponents are completely fictional. Gamers can compete in both exhibition and tournament play, as they take control of MJ's Wilmington, North Carolina squad. Games take place in a court in the middle of, well, nothing but darkness, though an invisible crowd can be heard. The game is rather unique in that it utilises the mouse for player control. There are keyboard shortcuts to pause the game, toggle options on and off, and even call a few basic plays, but movement, passing, shooting, stealing, blocking, and rebounding are all controlled by the mouse. The left button passes and steals, the right button shoots, and jumps to block or rebound. It works alright for the most part, though the movement can be a little jerky compared to using a joystick, a gamepad, or the direction keys. Before each exhibition game, or upon starting a tournament, you can choose the 3 players you want to team up with MJ on the Wilmington squad. The players themselves have different strengths and weaknesses in areas such as shooting, defense, rebounding, speed, and stamina. As you would expect, Michael Jordan is the best player in the game, with great all-around abilities. Players do fatigue and can be subbed out for a lone bench player, including MJ, though why would you? He's the best player in the game, the only real one, and has almost superhuman stamina. There's no way you won't have him on the court at all times. As I mentioned, you can call plays and they're kind of effective, but it's pretty straightforward early 90s video game basketball. You've got MJ on your side against a bunch of fictional players. Once you master the controls, you're going to win fairly easily most of the time. Notably, although you can call for a pass when you don't have the ball, you can't force your teammate to shoot. When I went back and played the game for this retrospective, I kept forgetting that. I'm used to modern games, as well as classics like NBA Jam, where pressing shoot without the ball forces a shot from your teammates. As a result, you can see me jumping around a lot for no reason whatsoever when I don't have the ball. Defense can be a little tricky to play, partly because you're moving with the mouse, but also because of the way the camera rotates. It doesn't make the game unplayable or anything, but compared to a game like World League Basketball on the Super Nintendo, the camera movement can be a bit more rough, and therefore a little disorientating at times. However, there are zoom settings on the camera, as well as an option for whether or not you want the camera to actually track the ball, which is more of a choice than most games offered back then. Speaking of the visuals, the graphics are very good compared to most PC basketball games of the time. There are awkward animations which definitely haven't aged well, but for an early 3D game, it's not unbearable to look at. It's worth noting that when it was released, it was actually quite advanced, technologically speaking. There are even some full motion video clips of Michael Jordan that pop up during gameplay. Make a good move, MJ appears and shows his approval. Yeah, ring it up! Take a bad shot though, and he'll shake his head in disapproval. Ugh, really? For those who find the clips annoying after a while, you can actually turn them off, if you like. As for the sound, well... Look, it's a DOS game released in 1992. It's about what you can expect. Drum beats for dribbling sounds, the ocean for crowd reactions. The game can be fun enough even today if you can get past the outdated graphics, and there's some longevity in the tournament mode as well. What's really impressive about Michael Jordan in Flight, however, is its instant replay mode. Not only can you enter instant replay during gameplay, and watch the play again with some basic speed and camera controls, you can also save replays to watch again later. The replay viewer has a few more camera and editing options, allowing you to keep a record of your favourite moments, to watch again whenever you'd like. A lot of the games that have come after Michael Jordan in Flight haven't had replay functionality this sophisticated, so it's actually pretty cool to see it in such an old release. Since this is a PC game, I guess I should touch on modding for a moment. I have opened up the game files with a hex editor before, and I can confirm that it is possible to change player names by editing the text strings. You're stuck with their faces and their attributes, so far as I can tell anyway, but if there's a fictional player you feel has a real world equivalent, or you'd just like to put yourself in the game, it's feasible if you know your way around a hex editor. In terms of its gameplay and aesthetics, Michael Jordan in Flight doesn't hold up too badly. It's arguably aged better than other early 3D games, and there isn't really any clunkiness with the controls, so it's definitely still playable. It's a bit simple and repetitive at times, but perhaps the biggest knock on it is that it's not a fully licensed NBA product. You've got Michael Jordan, of course, which wasn't always the case in 90s basketball games, but the fictional players and 3-on-3 half-court gameplay won't appeal to everyone. In my opinion, it's not a bad game, then or now, but it's not in the same class as an NBA Jam or NBA Live 95 or any other classic basketball video game. Glancing at some other reviews and impressions of Michael Jordan in flight, there are definitely some mixed opinions on it, and like any game, it's not without its flaws. Again, it doesn't hold up as well as NBA Jam, NBA Live 95, or some other vintage hoops games, but I have to admit, I kinda like it. Michael Jordan being in the game probably has a lot to do with that, but that aside, it's still kinda fun, and adds some impressive tech for its era. It may not be the Michael Jordan of basketball video games, but as far as player-endorsed games are concerned, it can certainly hold its own on the virtual hardwood.